Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we'll be checking out the new 7th studio efforts from the Canadian synth pop outfit Metric. Their new project is called Art of Doubt. Metric was formed back in 1998 and is made up of lead vocalist Emily Haines, the guitarist and synthesizer guy James Shaw, bassist Joshua Winstead, and drummer Jules Scott Key. Since coming out of the Toronto rock scene in the early 2000s with the hit Dead Disco, definitely still a fan favorite, Metric have been on an interesting trajectory. Their first 4 or 5 albums are critically well received, with Fantasies taking my top spot as favorite because of the consistent punch of singles like Gimme Sympathy, but also deeper cuts like Collect Call and the Toronto Blue Jays homecoming track from many years ago, Stadium Love. But what happened after the strong record release of Synthetica was their 6th studio effort entitled Pagans in Vegas, easily one of the most throwaway albums from 2015 outside of the first 3 singles. It just felt like the pop formula was taking too strong of a chokehold on the band, and the guitars were being replaced with noisier and more obnoxious synthesizers that drowned out the mix of the audio recordings. However, this isn't surprising for the band, as I've seen them open live for Imagine Dragons, and it's obvious that Metric loved their loud brand of synthesizers, but the live show also included a good balance of guitars, and heading into this new record, Art of Doubt, that's what I was wanting. Of course, my expectations were lower, as I expected the band to fully transition into synth territory and completely forget about the influence of the guitars on the earlier discography, but I was proved wrong with one of the most pleasant surprises of 2018. Not only are the synthesizers toned down on Art of Doubt, but when they are used, they effectively create a scaffold upon which other textures can flourish. For example, take the single Now or Never Now, a track I really didn't seem to care for before the album's release, but it's something that I can appreciate for the expanded and experimental form and the beautiful synth intro, accentuated with guitar riffs and Emily's gorgeous vocal performance. The track is over 6 minutes long, but it's worth every second, as all the instruments add a compelling element to the track's quality, making me pick up on something new with each listen. In approaching my concerns going into this record, the pacing was definitely my biggest fear. Especially with it checking in just shy of an hour for a total of 12 tracks, it was when Now or Never Now finally clicked with me that I finally felt like I could digest the rest of the album. Obviously, some tracks get long in the tooth by the 2.5 minute marks, those notably being the tracks Risk and 7 Rules, as they fail to hold my attention for the full runtime because they sound like they've been done by the band before, but at least they fit the sonic palette and the aesthetic that the overall project was going for, while giving us a chance to see more of the stripped back feel of Metric. And that's awesome. It's always a good sign when I can review a record and feel like the biggest gripes I have with it can still be viewed somewhat positively. Really, the only song that I don't like on Art of Doubt is Anticipate, just because of the repetitive synth line that gets really boring after the first minute. And on the flip side, the biggest compliment I can give this album is to the angelic vocals on the closer cut, No Lights on the Horizon, one of the most personal and sentimental recordings from Metric yet. Essentially, it's about Emily facing her inner struggle with mental health and opening up to someone who she's grateful for, and how their kindness can give her strength to get out of bed every day. Ultimately, it's a touching and poignant end to the record. It's definitely one of Metric's best songs in years because of the tasteful use of synthesizers and the right amount of tech-produced percussion. Just as the album ends strongly, I can express similar views on the opening of it too. It's where we get 7 awesome songs, a really strong streak of powerful tunes, and what better way than to start the record off with the overdriven guitars on Dark Saturday. It's as if Metric wanted to make a statement. The guitars are back and they're going to be loud. I'm so happy with the decision to put the guitars in the forefront because Dark Saturday lands as one of the band's most memorable singles since Breathing Underwater. To the second track on Art of Doubt, which is called Love You Back, the listeners are greeted by vocal effects that eerily call back to the early days of the band and a bass line that is infectious and super catchy. Here the chorus honestly feels like the band has returned to their roots and have reincarnated themselves with a modern twist or flair. To the third track, Die Happy, Emily Haines sounds like she's an alien on the pre-chorus asking, "Is this dystopia?" The pitch bends and the instrumental breakdowns are very appreciated, and I'm once again hooked with an irresistible melody. Later on track 5, the title track, we get an interesting little tune that plays with lots of elements that influence the Beaches and their sound, from the vocal delivery, the simplistic guitar and drum patterns. It's no question that Emily Haines had her hands all over the production on the debut project from the contemporaries of the Toronto band. But damn, those screams from Emily in the final minute of the song Art of Doubt, yes. I love that catharsis, and I love the emotional release. More of that going forward, please. The last couple tracks that I'll comment on come in the form of Underline the Black and Dressed to Suppress, the former feeling like a sequel to Now or Never Now, which unapologetically admits that the narrator doesn't think of her past lover as much as she used to. And the last track I'll talk about is Dressed to Suppress, which I covered in one of my episodes of Hot and Cold, and I still feel the same way about it now as I did then. It's a track that literally is a facade to what's stored in the middle of its song structure, and it's decked out with an another magnetic and sticky melody. To wrap up this review, I've always known Metric to be a band who sound better live than they do on studio albums for the most part, but that's no longer the case with the aesthetically pleasing textures to the synthesizers and guitars on Art of Doubt. Overall, I'm pleased that the synthesizers are used effectively and the force of the guitar has made a bold return with powerful crunches on the opening track, but also reserving itself to be versatile, smooth, and sultry in the solo of 7 Rules. Art of Doubt, without a doubt, is a return to form for Metric, and the extended length of songs didn't flop like I expected. And there you have it, there's my review of Art of Doubt from Metric. Now I want to hear from you guys. Sound off down below in the comments, agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is Ryan from True North Reviews, and as always, have a rockin' day. Thanks for watching.